Hi, welcome back to Shesinherapron. I am Kimmy, and today I'm answering your questions. Okay, like right before Thanksgiving, I put out on Facebook, let's do another Q&A. And they all pretty much are all questions about the holiday season, which is fun. So we're going to talk about traditions and how to deal with it all. So, which I'm not an expert at, but I'm going to share how I go through it. There was like 3 people that focused on traditions, and I'm kind of going to warp them all together. So we have Felicia Policastro, hope I'm saying that right. What are your Christmas traditions? And then we have Darcy Scott, who asks, what were your favorite childhood holiday traditions? What are your favorite traditions now? And Gay Wusteen, oh my gosh, sorry. What gospel-centered Christmas traditions do you have to help your family remember the true meaning of Christmas? So I'm going to answer all 3 of your latest questions. So to go along with Felicia and Darcy, what are your Christmas traditions and what were they when they were younger? Growing up for me, Derek will be different. Like Derek's mom always did Christmas jammies with them on Christmas Eve, and I never heard of this tradition until I moved to Utah. I was like, this is a thing, like cool. So I know that was one of his. For me growing up, I grew up, I was the only Mormon family, and my dad converted to the church when I was 1. So I grew up with a lot of LDS traditions and Catholic traditions. Not that we did them in our home, but we lived in a 3-decker home in Massachusetts, and my mom's mom lived on the bottom floor, and my aunt lived there on and off as well. So, and then when I grew up to be a teenager, we moved, and my grandmother lived with us in the house in Auburn, and then my aunt on and off. So I've grown up with other religions, traditions, and things in my life. So I did go to midnight mass growing up as a kid. A few times we would go. I have visited my aunt when she was a nun. I had those traditions there with her convent family. So when I was little, on I think Christmas Day, and not Christmas Eve, I can't remember, we would go see my aunt in the convent with, and we got to know the nuns and some of the priests really well there, and we would have dinner, a big dinner, and I still remember the smells of the church, and it was just interesting. I would go to midnight mass with a friend. I did that one time, and with family, I believe, another time. So I loved getting all encompassed of different religion views with Christmas. And so for traditions, mainly we would go pick out our Christmas tree. We always got our Christmas tree around my mom's birthday, which is December 15th. So everybody say, happy birthday, Ma. She's so cute. Okay, so we would usually get our tree around the 15th because my mom, I believe it was because, tell me if I'm wrong, Mom, because you were afraid of the tree going dry. But we would always get our tree on around her birthday. And we'd always get a real tree, and we would decorate. I just love playing in the tree. You guys do that when you were little, playing in your tree? I catch my kids doing that. So cute. We would always bake the Italian Christmas cookies, the Italian brownies, and there's 2 other cookies, and I can't remember the name. The pizzelles and the other one. Can't think of the name. We would make those. Christmas Eve, growing up, we always had an Italian meal. My mom and Grammy's Italian gravy, pasta. They would make the strushies. One year we did lobster and spaghetti. But it was always an Italian meal on Christmas Eve. And then when we moved from the city, Worcester, to Auburn, it changed. Like, we did I remember our last Italian meal there was the strushies. No, it was spaghetti and lobster. And then it switched. We would order Chinese food on Christmas Eve. And so I grew up pretty much my teenage years until I moved out. Christmas Eve was Chinese food, and it was so good. Like, Chinese food on the East Coast is so different here in Utah. Like, it's disgusting here, like night and day. Like, I miss the chicken fingers, the teriyaki sticks, like the duck sauce. Like, oh my gosh. I crave it. all the time. So we grew up with having Chinese food on Christmas Eve. We would open up a gift either for my Grammy or for my aunt on Christmas Eve. We would do the Christmas story, and we would go to bed. Well, not really go to bed. We would stay up all night, just so excited for Christmas Day. Christmas Day, we would go and open up our presents at the home, and then we would go, and we usually open it with my Grammy and my aunt, and then we would go to wherever Grammy Paul was, whoever's house she was at, if it was at hers or somebody else's, my dad's mom. And my dad is 3 of 12 kids, so we fit a ton of people in like a small apartment or home, and we would just, everyone would bring something to eat, everyone would contribute, and we would just hang out and have fun and talk and laugh. And I love my family. The Paul family freaking rocks. And then when you add the Mahonies with the Pauls, like on other holidays, we just had a blast. I love my family. So fun. So, but my mom would always make candy canes. That was a tradition. I'm sure there's other traditions, but my memory is crap. Like, I don't remember anything anymore. So, Mom, if you can remember any traditions that we did, can you leave a comment? Because this brain is not working anymore. Yeah, so... yeah, so those are things that I did as a kid. My favorite traditions now, or now that I live in Utah, is to go to the lights, like go to a town near us and see the lights, or go to up in Salt Lake to Temple Square and see the lights. And another tradition that we like doing is at Oma's Christmas party, which you guys saw. I'll put a link to the vlog here, where the kids would do the nativity scene and we would do the white elephant gift. So I look forward to on Christmas Eve when Derek does the Christmas story with the kids. We read the scriptures, we read the night before Christmas, and we give them their Christmas jammies now. And so I love that. I look forward to that. And so reading the Christmas story, and we try to do that weeks before leading into Christmas too, or read the scriptures in the evening, and we'll go over the Christmas story in detail just leading up to it. And then on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, we go over the night in Bethlehem, like the full thing. So it's so fun. So we keep Christ alive in Christmas through remembering him through the season. We try to have the kids serve others, think of others, serve them in the home. One year we did, I can't remember what we put on the pillows. It was either a star or little Christ baby in the manger, and the kids had to do an act of service towards someone else in the home and leave that little statue or whatever it was, I can't think right now, on the pillow, and that person had the next one. So we're always trying to do things throughout the year to keep Christ centered. There's so many things on Pinterest, so many, and so and usually his mom will give us something for us to do with the kids as well, to with little gifts that she'll provide. Sometimes she does that to remember Christmases, or Christ in Christmas as well. So those are some of the things that we do. There's, I mean, I'm sure I'm like drawing a blank, but that's a lot of what we do. We really try to keep Christ the center of Christmas, and we don't go big on gifts either. We really try to keep it small, so they're not so focused on the stuff, which is hard because kids will, but the meaning of Christmas. So we try to keep that humble, very humble. So we have a question from Heather Powell, and she asks, how do you do gifts for your children? Is there a budget, certain amount of gifts for each? And then there's a question that's kind of similar from Erica Steele. She asks, when you buy gifts for your children, do you buy them the same amount? If so, if you buy them the same number of gifts or spend the same amount of money on them? So they had both a very good question. So yes, we do budget for Christmas. We budget every year for a set amount for the whole Christmas. That's kids' gifts. If Derek and I give gifts for each other, there's years where we're like, no, we won't get each other anything. And then on Christmas morning, we both have a pile of stuff for each other. I don't know why we say that, because we're going to buy each other something anyway, but anywho. So yes, we do budget for Christmas. It got easier when we did the Dave Ramsey method of like actually putting money away for it. There have been times where we have used certain bonuses Derek has had and things like that. This year has been a crazy year for us because Derek's bonus schedule at work changed. He gets it annually now instead of quarterly. So I always budgeted for it, But then at the end of the year, I didn't worry too much because that bonus went towards Christmas. But then this year it wasn't there because he got it at the beginning of the year, and oh my gosh, anywho, this year's a little different. We're feeling the pinch this year, for sure. I'm not gonna lie, we're feeling the pinch, but it's all good. We've done things, we've got our money, it's all good. But we are no stranger to tight Christmases going, oh crap, what are we gonna do? And you wanna know what? Small Christmases are fine. And do not feel guilty if you have a small Christmas. Because honestly, what is the purpose of Christmas? And that's what we got to remember, is what is the purpose? And I think it's good, and I'm not, please don't get upset with me. If you have the means and you go all out, then good for you. Like, I'm not trying to bash you, so please don't take it the wrong way. And so I appreciate the smaller Christmases my parents did, because it really made me go, stop it, you're a brat, like what is the meaning of Christmas? And so I try to do that with our kids. We really try to minimize the stuff, because we just want them to focus on why we do it, and why we have Christmas, why we give each other gifts. And so there's years that Derek and I will go kind of big, and there's years we don't. And my cousin, she's like, really? And I showed her a picture. Like, I had to go back on Instagram like a couple of years ago. I showed her a picture of what her Christmas looked like. And she's like, those are Santa's gifts, right? And then you put yours out. I'm like, no, that's the shebang. That's all of it. That's our gifts. That's Santa's gifts. And she's like, whoa. And because she, you know, I was like, yeah. I mean, so don't feel bad if you have to go small. It's just, you know, we're all in different situations, and we can't compare ourselves to other families. So you got to do what your four walls say you could do, and just be happy with what you got. So this year, even though things have switched, where we thought we were going to have this like easy Christmas, now that we can have a Christmas, we're still going to go easy Christmas, because we just want to keep that going for the kids. We want to make it, you know, not about the stuff. And to make it not about the stuff, we try to categorize their gifts a little bit. I've seen this on Pinterest. I know other friends that do this. We try to give them something that they want, something that they need, something that they'll read, something that they'll wear, and that way we could break it down a little bit. And I know some people that do like 3 or 4 main gifts, and that's what they usually go off of. Something they need, want, wear, read. And so it keeps the kids reading. So we try to do that rule. That's the avenue we go down, and that helps us with their gifts. So it's not just a bunch of just like nothings. It's something in those categories to make it exciting for the kids. Now, when the kids were little, when Callie was littler, we had a certain amount of money for each kid. And no matter how you spent it, you know, you could buy them one big thing or a bunch of little things. And so, like, I would budget for what would go under the tree, and I would budget what would be in the stocking. Because the stocking could be, I mean, depending on what you do for stocking stuffers. So I kind of had a budget for both. And so now I have a teenager, and she's really hard to shop for. So her budget is honestly a little bit more compared to what Shaylee and Boston are going to get. Because Shaylee and Boston are little. You can get them a whole bunch of little things that are like not a whole lot of money. So the older kids know, like Jonah and Callie know that their gift system is completely different than the other two. Like, we tell them, yes, we budget. We have a set amount of money for each of you. And depending on what you've asked for, what you've needed, it could be in 1 or 2 things. So, okay, for example, when Callie first started volleyball, she needed her volleyball bag. She got a volleyball. She got shorts, shirts. She got her shoes. Like, the bag and all the stuff in it and her shoes, like that cost us hundreds of dollars. So she got that under the tree, and then she got her stocking. That was Callie's Christmas. Was she bummed? No, she was way excited because it was everything that she wanted, but just All in one clump. And so she got her stocking, she got all her volleyball gear, and then she got gifts under the tree from Grammy and Grampy, and she was happy with it because it was everything that she needed and she knew she needed and wanted, so it worked out really well. So it's a little different for the older kids versus the younger kids, and they know that. They're fully aware. We talk them through it, so it's not like, oh my gosh, you know, do we still get a little, you know, yeah, we do, but it's all good. We budget for the family, the neighborhood, everything. We put a budget, set amount for all of it. And I noticed the years that when we stick to the budget, it's like, whew, you could breathe. And the years that we don't, oh, we feel it. We feel it. Do you play, okay, this is from Julie Heston. Do you play any games with the family? When we hold Christmas party, we have Christmas trivia questions. Yes. So if you notice, like, we did the white elephant gift exchange at the family party, and someone from, I think they're from the UK, you asked me in a comment, what is white elephant? A white elephant is kind of like a gag gift. It could be a gag gift, it could be whatever. You wrap it up, you put it in a pile, and so the first person goes and picks a present out of the pile, they open it up so everyone can see it, and they can see it, and then the person next to them can either steal their gift, like the gift that you just opened, they could steal your gift, or they could pick from the pile. And this continues all around the circle. For us, the rules were if your gift got stolen three times, it was dead. Like no one else could steal it. So that's what we do. And it's just fun because you think you got the gift and you're all excited, and then someone comes and steals it from you. So fun. Okay, Angela DeWitt Diller asks, how does the family celebrate New Year's? Okay, so I have a video right here from last year. We had all the kids and their a friend, Danielle, here, and we partied it up. We popped balloons every hour or 30 minutes, I can't remember. You have to watch the video. And when they popped the balloon, it would say what activity we're doing. That's a fun one, the kids like that. So you can watch that video from last year. Most years, Derek's mom and dad have had all the grandkids except for the little baby-er kids sleep over their house, and they would do like a big New Year's party with them. They would sleep over, and then Derek and I would go out to eat, but we'd always have like Shaylee with us. And so this year, I don't know if they're doing that or not, but if they do, of course Shaylee's big enough to go, and then Derek and I will have New Year's all to ourselves. So I'm kind of hoping, Oma and Opa, that you do that this year, because, you know. So I don't know. New Year's is really winged every year. It's just like fly by the seat of your pants kind of a thing. New Year's Day, we used to go to Grandpa Bishop's house for a breakfast, but he just passed away, so I don't know if we're going to start up a New Year's Day tradition or not. I will get together with my side of the family that are here in Utah, either on Christmas or something for New Year's. Like, I got to talk to them and find out what we want to do this year. So New Year's is really fly by the seat of your pants. I really don't know what we're ever going to do. Okay. From Diane Hughes, she asks, how do you enjoy the holidays and not let stress and anxiety get a hold of you? Always too much to do and never enough time or money to get it all done, it seems. It's so easy to be hard on us moms / ourselves to make the holidays picture perfect. Oh, yes. That is a good question. And I know there was another one like that. Elizabeth Martinez asks, how do you keep a good attitude and not feeling inferior when around friends and family during the holiday celebrations? I'm not sure the meaning of your question, but I'm going to wrap it in with Diane's, and hopefully I'll be able to answer your question. Okay, so how do you enjoy the holidays and not let the stress and anxiety get a hold on you? Good question. Very good question, because we're now in, the first full week of December, and I'm feeling the stress. I had a rough week last week. My anxiety has been through the roof. But the biggest thing to do to have, everybody wants a picture perfect Christmas. It's not going to happen. It's just because you're not just dealing with your little family and your four walls. Like, you're dealing with two different sides of the family, and you want to make everybody happy, and you want to do everything, and you don't want to, it's so stressful. So the biggest thing to kind of it's going to be stressful no matter what. There's nothing that you could do to make it non-stressful, because it's just a stressful time. But the biggest thing I would say is to whoever you're with, whatever your family, just sit down and go, what are we going to do and what are we just gonna pass on? And just kind of make a plan. Be like, okay, we're not gonna do that or with them this year. I think we'll pass on that, and because, you know, you got school plays and concerts, and if your kids and all that thing, you know, choir concerts and band concerts and dances, and then you get all your family parties and all your friend parties, and then if you have a kid that has a birthday 2 days, 3 days before Christmas, thank you, Shaylee, you know, it gets so stressful. So the biggest thing is just to pick and choose what you're gonna do, what you're gonna pass on, and just say, this is what we're doing. And if you get invited to another thing and you can't pull it off, just be like, oh, thank you so much. That sounds like so much fun, but we're going to have to pass on it. And we've had to do that. Derek and I, every year, we kind of just sit down and go, okay, what are we going to do so we're not overstressed? Because I get stressed very easily. Too much of something could just get my anxiety through the roof. So just make a game plan. Like, I made the Christmas planner, you know, write it down on a notebook. Do something, things you're going to choose you're going to do, and things you're not going to do. And there's never enough time to get it done unless you start seriously in October. I know people who try to get their Christmas shopping done before Thanksgiving. So anything that you could do before, if you can start Christmas shopping, start Christmas shopping. But the biggest thing is not to do too much. Just let some things go. I mean, we can get on Pinterest, and believe me, I do, and I'm like, oh, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that. And then, like, before the Christmas season, you're like, I'm going to do all of this. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be so great. And then it comes, and you're, like, wanting to throw up. Your heart's beating out of your chest, and you're just like, how am I going to do this all? And then you don't want to do it all. And then you get mad at yourself because you can't do it all. That's me. I'm talking about me. And so you can't have it go perfect. Just pick the things that you want to do and do the things that you're good at. If you know you're good at, I don't know, baking cookies, but you're not so good at sending Christmas cards out. I suck at sending Christmas cards out. Suck. I sent out my Norwex team's Christmas cards. That might be the only people that get cards this year. Family, I'm trying. But I stink at it. And I know I stink at it. So I kind of focus on my strengths. Whipping out the Christmas cookies. Whipping out the treats. Like, I know I can do that. I know I'm good at that. So guess what? I'm going to perfect that. I'm going to make that so fun. I'm going to make it cute. Because I know I'm strong in that area. I'm not so strong in other areas. So I'll leave that to somebody else. You know? So you go where your strengths are. Pick and choose, and because you got to enjoy the season. You just got to. If you can wrap all your Christmas gifts before Christmas Eve, that's huge, huge, huge. So yeah, I guess picture perfect. I don't know does anyone ever have a picture perfect Christmas? Leave a comment down below. I just say, just pick and choose. Don't make it too big. Go with where your strengths are and get everybody on board. Get your family to help them be on board. And yeah, and you can't compare to what someone else is doing or what they do. And oh my gosh, look at, you know, good for her. She's got it going on, but you know what? She's got things she's stressing over and missing out on, and moments that she's also missing out on. So no one is perfect. Okay? Just remember that. No one's perfect. So I started out with a list this year of things that I wanted to do, and guess what? It had to get whittled. It had to get whittled. So, and I can shoot and try them again for next year, because they do sound like fun. I would love to do them, but I know it's not going to happen. And if I could squeeze one of them in, great, but I just really can't stress about it. I really want to focus on what Christmas is about. I really want to enjoy Christmas. So I hope that helped. Did I ramble? I usually always ramble. But, so if you've got anything good out of that, then hallelujah. So, okay, you guys, have a Merry Christmas. I hope some of these things help. I don't know. It's just fun to do. I love answering your questions. So, okay, leave a comment below. What are your traditions? What do you do to have a stress-free Christmas, or try to have a stress-free Christmas? What do you do for New Year's? And how do you budget? I'd love to hear. So leave your comments down below. And we will see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you guys so much. Bye.